This week we're joined by none other than the gentleman, Johnny Hedges. How are you, sir?
Yeah, all well, Paul. Thank you very much, mate.
Good. How you doing, Mark?
Sorry?
So,
Sorry, I cut out. Sorry, Paul. But yeah, another good session in the bank, mate. Training hard, not long now, just under 3 weeks, and we're back up.
Outstanding, outstanding. Right, well, I'm going to just sort of give the listeners, the viewers, a little bit more about you. So, just to clarify, 6'6"?
6'6", light heavyweight, 6'0" at the minute. So yes, we'll go good.
And just to make it even more difficult for everyone in front of you, you're southpaw as well.
Yeah, southpaw, left-handed. Use me range, use me a bit of agility, and that. Yeah, so yeah, it's all coming together now.
Unbelievable. Now, I have actually obviously stood next to you and seen you in action. And I mean, how long comfortably do you reckon you're going to be able to make 12.5 stone?
Do you know what, Paul? It's a process. I'm only 20, so each fight at a time. See how I develop, but I'll be pushing into cruiserweight division eventually. But it's just taking me time. I'm in no rush at all. Start developing. I'm filling out nicely, starting to get maturity. So yeah, one fight at a time, and then we'll see how we man out.
Outstanding. So, at what age did you get into boxing?
Do you know what, Paul? To be fair, family thing. My dad boxed, my brother boxed. They was all out of same me dad and brother. My dad boxed for West Ham, down in like when it was out at Plaistow, and then my brother was down in Repton, Bethnal Green. So it was more, I was forced into it. Do you know what I mean? In a way, I was brought up around it all the time, always being like a 2-year-old baby, just walking through a boxing gym. And then I think it just comes natural to you, doesn't it? You get used to your surroundings. And then I first started off at Repton Boxing Club myself, had a few fights there. And then about 13 years old, I moved back down my way, back to Essex. And I started boxing out of Hoddesdon. And that's where I made my name, really. I had 44 fights in the amateurs and 140. Boxed for England since the age of 12. And yeah. So once I was on the team, I stayed on it.
Outstanding. Yeah, I'll add a little bit more colour there because you're underselling yourself. So you won 4 nationals and 7 international titles. I mean, in 44 fights, that's going some.
Yeah, to be fair, I was one of them boys. I could never get matched on a club show. So when it was like you do Repton versus back in the day, the Docklands, or Repton versus Ireland, I could never really get a fight. So it was always I boxed in my country, and they would send me abroad. I had most of my fights abroad. Sweden, Denmark, Finland, most of the Scandinavian countries, went to Italy, and always brought gold home. So I had a good record overseas, and it was a good experience, and it's made me all I am today for the pro ranks.
Outstanding. Who gave you the nickname of the gentleman?
See that, Bo? It was at school. It was at school, mate. To be fair, started school a bit later than others in primary school. I joined in like year 1, year 2 sort of thing. I was always hit and miss. weren't the best at going to nursery and that. And I was a big boy. Like, I mean, I was 8, 9 stone at 10 years, at 7, 8 years of age. So I was a big fat boy. And honestly, they used to think, like looking at me, I had this terrible haircut, short at the sides. I looked terrible, I looked like rough and ready. Do you know what I mean? I was a genuinely nice kid. Nice. And then they went to me, they expected that I was going to be grief, and I weren't grief. So they went to me, like, he's the gentleman. I just kept it. I thought, why not? Do you know what I mean?
Fantastic. Did you have any boxing idols growing up?
See, growing up, to be fair, I always looked up to Andy Lee. He was out of Repton himself, and I liked what he'd done. He moved himself to America, and that was always my dream. Do you know what I mean? In the amateurs, a lot of let's say like travelling kids, we start young and then we don't see it through. So I thought what Andy Lee done, went and got himself away from bad surroundings and went and done it. That's what I always thought I'd do. And he's southpaw, always tried basing my style on him and all. And boxing out of Repton, they teach you that style. So always looked up to Andy Lee, and he's a proper man outside the ring. Do you know what I mean? So always, he was my main one really, and please God I get as good as him. Do you know what I mean? Achieve what he achieves.
Nice, Mark. Next question for you. So Johnny had his first pro fight during lockdown, October 2020. He's now 6-0. Talk to me about how he's progressed since he's ticked over professional.
Well, it was lovely to listen to his amateur story, and you both. And it's like, for me to get the opportunity to work with someone like John Hedges, like that, listening to that nursery pedigree, that amateur pedigree that he's come through, it's understanding. You know, it's understanding for me how natural he is. He's so natural. I've just started to say to him recently that he's like working with a Rolls Royce without history. He really is, and the rest is just, you've got to keep him on track, and you've got to understand, you know, when to push him or when to pull you, you know, when you're take the tie off the gas, basically. Went to let him off the reins and went to hold him back, sort of thing. But and getting the right experience, and along with S-Jam, they're doing a brilliant job in managing John Hedges here. But sorry, Paul, what was your question?
Yeah, no, you've answered it. I mean, just another quick question for you there as well, Mark. So I remember last time when we were chatting with Tommy, and we were chatting with Johnny Fisher. We were talking about how a lot of your fighters go out to be sparring partners. Now, obviously, Johnny has got an incredible sort of repertoire to him, which we'll sort of expand on in a bit. But has he been doing sparring of any note?
Yeah, well, you know, these guys who I've got under my wing right now, they're prospects. They're not sparring partners, Paul. But, you know, we pick and choose the right sparring, as in like educational sparring, when to press them, when to put them in the oven. I always use that term. And of recently, he's been around Chev Clark and Chris Latuke, who are very, very world-schooled, world level amateurs. And I mean, in the past, we've had who's the guy?
We've had Aziz, Richards.
Yeah, he's had very, very good sparring. Yeah, Guido from over in Italy. There, he'd done a brilliant spar with Guido. What's his second name? Vianello, with Guido Vianello, who's in our gym right now. He's over here for a couple of weeks, but he's a very, very well-schooled Olympian, and he's probably 8 and 10 and 0 now, isn't he?
Yeah, 10 and 0, world ranked.
With top rank and S-Jam as well. So and every time Guido spars with this man here, you know, because he's hard to hit. He's hard to hit, but he's getting offensively. He's getting cute as well. He has to be cute with these heavyweights who he's sparring with, and because there's 4 or 5 stone difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, big weight.
So, but Guido always comes to my corner after and touches my glove, and I'm thinking, no, I want you to do more rounds here. But he's praising him. You know what I'm saying? He's praising him in the good graft and technical. His IQ is brilliant. So listen, John Hedges is 20 years old. Remember, 20 years old. So as long as he's learning and growing, he'll build, and he'll learn along the way with top class sparring as well, as we've done. You know, there's the right time and place and levels who to put them in with and whatnot. But Chev Clark is a very, very strong man. He's 32 years old. He's at the prime of his strength. And he don't hold back. But I think I told you about that story with Tommy Fletcher and Chev Clark. I won't remind you again, but basically I pulled Fletcher out and put Edges in. Edges showing what I want from him, from Tommy. He went in there for 2 rounds, 3 rounds. I went, that's what I want you to do. Pulled him out. He's helping and coaching my boys as well. But put Fletcher in, and Fletcher done what I wanted him to do, sort of thing. But no, this we've got a really good bouncing off one another up there.
I'll be fair, Paul. Every fight I've had since joining Mark, whatever camp I've had, I've either sparred a British champion in the leading up to, or I've had a world level sparring partner. Not every spar, but every time we've ticked that box, I've had that elite sparring, and see that for confidence, and no better.
Who's the guy we had? Another strong one like Chev Clark.
Michael
Lawal. Now, Michael Lawal, big puncher.
14-0 cruiserweight. I think he's not near enough everyone else.
Well, he's a cruiserweight. Now, I don't do that to test anyone's chin or anything. I'm showing what confidence I've got in this boy here. So if I've got confidence in you, you have the confidence in you, because he's equipped. This boy's equipped not to get hit. All them years he was at Repton Boxing Club when he was knee-high. That is why he can do that. That is why he can see, look, not get hit. But listen, don't mean to say you can't work at it, because you know you can't dodge every range up. And but he's offensively getting a brilliant fighter as well. So and packing some power as well. He's working lovely with our strength and conditioner, Sonny Cannon, and the journey so far. But Paul, you asked me a question first. There, I've got to bring it up. When I first walked in the gym, I was away with Billy Joe Saunders training when you come with us, didn't you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And
when I come back in between camps, we was in the gym with Louis
Edmondson.
And Louis is a 27-year-old. He was then.
At the time, he was
strong,
Ready for a title.
light heavyweight fighter, and he did hold back, and there was a bit of banter in the gym. But normally in the past, I sort of wrapped my prospects up in cotton wool, but you know, I'm done with that now.
I'm telling you, he had his top off, mate. It was a proper. I was in the deep end that day. I'll tell you, I was in the deep end, but we got through it.
They was all round the ring, banging on the canvas. But do you know what? Brilliant. It was a great spar. There was no winners, no losers. It was very, very competitive, but he showed me. You know, he's got the 19 years old probably then.
Yeah, no, just turned 19. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, so from that day onwards, I thought I like this kid. So I heard all about him. Apparently, he had a bad start in his first pro fight. I went around. I did training it, but I didn't worry about that because I heard about his pedigree. I heard about Hedges coming along. So and S-Jam, I trust them. They said, Mark, have a look at this guy. I had a look at him, but I knew I had something good on my hands, you know, before I even saw him. But no, he passed the test when we give two. And Louis Edmondson that day, he was frustrated at the end. He went, let's do that again Wednesday. And I'm thinking, do that without a touch. But I went, no problem. See you Wednesday. He went and done it again. Like, I'm not saying he took care of him, but it was a lovely spar.
Proper competitive spar.
Yeah, it was good. But like, the young man showed me skill and will and all of that, and ring craft more than anything.
I remember, Mark, when around 2008-9, about 2009, when you and your dad started training Billy Joe, and I remember at the time, the way you're speaking now, like, to be honest, about Johnny, saying about silky smooth skills, a prospect ready at that point. And it seems to be that similar sort of description you're giving now. And I haven't heard you talk about that sort of specific skill set for a while. I mean, usually at this sort of height and the sort of weights we're talking about, power tends to be a main thing. And I can't really think, apart from maybe 2 or 3 fighters at that sort of size range, who possess this sort of skill set. Moving forward, do you think that Johnny's going to be a problem with his height, his southpaw, and his specific skill set, as I just mentioned there, whether he'd be a light heavyweight, cruiserweight, or heavyweight?
Oh, 100%. Listen, 6'6" or 6'7", whatever he is. I mean, and long arms and that IQ, what he's got, power and strength is going to come. You know what I mean? But to be fair, like, lungs, this man can go all day long. I swear he can. He's just got great stamina, good stamina. But like, it is time in his career. He's just got to keep chipping away, keep doing what he's doing, and you know, he doesn't lack confidence, but confidence will come even more in his mid-20s, and you know, and in between, you know, just before he's 30, he's going to be in the prime of his life. He's got a great future ahead of him because of that boxing brain he's got, for sure. Yeah.
Last few questions here. So Johnny, obviously Jimmy is around the gym, and you know, Jimmy's Jimmy. I remember when he first saw you. I remember I was chatting to him about, I can't even remember what, but at the time he said to me, so this new lad called Johnny Hedges just come in. He said, if he carries on the way I saw him in his first session, he's going to go really far. What does Jimmy bring to your table?
No, Paul, like you just said, they're very, very grateful and lucky to have Mark and Jimmy training me and guiding me career. Do you know what I mean? So to walk in the gym and have the two of them, there's not many fighters who can say they got that. And I remember when I first joined with Mark was obviously with Billy Joe, and he had that commitment, which I knew before signing. So obviously he had to see that through. I had his dad, I had Jimmy down in Newlands, and I was training at another gym. There was a few other people around me, like in the gym at the time. And Jimmy he gives you confidence. At the time, I was a super middleweight, if I'm honest, Paul, but I was like 84 kilo, trying to cut down, and always felt like I had to be a super middleweight, so I wasn't strong enough. Jimmy said to me the first day he seen me, he said, just looked at me in the eye and said, son, you're never doing that weight again. When I heard that from him, I've had thousands of people tell me that. As soon as I heard it from Jim, it was there. Listen, if he's got enough confidence in me, he's seen it, then I can do it. And from that minute, it was done. That's all I needed. It was that little bit of reassurance and of a man who's got a wise head like Jimmy to tell me that. And I've honestly, a lot of that is how I've grown with it. I've took people's words, and when I first joined Mark, I felt like sometimes I wasn't training hard enough, and it was nothing to do with that. It was just in my head. I used to think for a 4-round fight, you've got to run at 6 o'clock every morning. You've got to train at 12, then you've got to go for another run 10 o'clock that night. That ain't they learnt me that isn't you train smart, not hard. Well, you still train hard, but you train smarter, if anything. And just understanding that.
Yeah, it's just something like he says. He's I can't explain it to you, but like there is a process for each and every one of them. They're all different. They're all at different ages and different levels. But and it was interesting to to hear about his weight and his first fight and this and that. And for us, it wasn't how we operate. But so we got around. We just told him how this is how it happens, and this is what we do. This is how you're going to feel, and this is how you're not going to feel if you don't do it right. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and exactly that. And that's exact. And Paul, it sounds stupid, like what we said, like that's how it all come together. Literally, just by him saying, "What are you coming in on championship weight for in your debut?" That's what I've done. I come in bang on championship weight, thinking.
I've had pros, as it happens, talking about that when I worked in Loughborough University. But I've had pros in my camp that I took over seven, 8 fights in. I won't mention names, but they was like. They was worried about making championship weight. They've only had 6 fights, and I was like, "What's your weight now?" So they said they was 13 stone. I think they got to be 12.7 as in championship light heavy. Yeah. I went, "Well, listen, you're 13 and a half old. This box looked like 13 stone, for instance, like 6-7 pound over championship weight. No, but I'm a light heavy. But you ain't fighting for the title. Yeah, so give yourself a bit of room. Give yourself a bit of room." But they've never been told that. They've been told that. They think they've got to be on the button. And this was in Johnny's.
That was in my head.
Johnny's case.
Got impressed. If I don't do that, they're getting. Everything went through my head. If I don't make that weight, I'm gone, like sort of thing. When I saw I put on a few pounds, that's when I started coming into myself. I didn't just have to worry about making the weight. I was worried about my boxing.
Nice. So that's that insight, that support, that experience that Mark brings to the table is invaluable. It's it's what will keep you fit, healthy, mentally, physically, and every other sort of platform. So, last couple of questions here. So, you're fighting in 3 weeks?
Yeah, just under 3 weeks. 29th October, Wembley Arena, and buzzing for it.
Fantastic, cool. So, everyone watching this, if you haven't bought a ticket, make sure you do. Final question, Johnny. If you could spar 3 rounds with any past boxing legend, who would it be?
Any past boxing legend? I would like to spar. God, you put me on this one, didn't you? Do you know what I'd like to do? I'll put a bit of weight on. Someone like a Rocky Marciano. Do you know, like, he never got beat, did he? So I'd get in there and try and get behind me jab and do a couple of laps around him. Do you know what I mean? He's only strong for an heavyweight, wasn't he? So, listen, he can fight. I ain't saying that, yeah. Someone like Rocky Marciano, I think he was a great, but I've got this feeling that in this era of big heavyweights, these 6'8", 6'9" heavyweights, I don't think he'd done as good. But it's someone like yourself, I'd have got in there with him, yeah. Still got me.
Beautiful. Well, listen, we're going to keep an eye on your progress now, and certainly in the next 12 months, I'm sure you're going to be leaping forward. As Mark was saying before, you're boxing at a very high level already, and the confidence from the whole camp is there, but especially from yourself. So, just want to say thank you very much for the interview today. All the best with the next few weeks, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you very much, Paul. Cheers, mate.
Bye bye.